Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Day In, Day Out podcast. This is episode 93, where I had the immense pleasure of having Keera Albergaria on. She is a certified life coach as well as a personal trainer. She has a new book out, well, a workbook out, basically called the Reflection Planner. We talked about a number of things on the podcast today, from basically mental health and how she is helping mothers find their way and helping them find their purpose, as well as other interesting topics as well. So please sit back, enjoy the podcast, and yes, thank you very much for your time. Have a great day and be awesome. Peace. Hey. Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Day In, Day Out podcast. Ooh, this is episode 93. Today I have Keera Albergaria. Yes, I got it right.
You did it.
Celebrations all around. Yeah. Is a personal trainer as well as a life coach. She has recently released a workbook, devotional titled The Reflection Planner. How are you today? What's going on in your world?
Oh, wow. I'm doing great. I really am. I cannot complain. I'm doing wonderful. We are just living life over here on the East Coast of the United States in Rhode Island and living it with my 2 boys, 2 dogs, husband, and I am the only female in this house. Even our dogs are male. So literally.
When you pictured married life, did you think you'll just be surrounded by men?
No woman grows up thinking that. They're just gonna be a house full of men, even my animals. We had a fish that was male, like a fish, and it recently died, but my son picked it out and it said on the container, male. I said, really?
I'm going to have at least one boy, one girl.
Oh, yeah. But it's funny because it wasn't my dream, but being in it, I now say, I don't know if I could picture myself with girls, because I have so much fun with the boys. I just have so much fun with them. They have so much energy. Boys love their moms. That's the thing. And I soak that up.
Oh.
I love it.
Oh, brilliant. Like, how old are the little tykes, may I ask?
So I have a 7-year-old. He's in 2nd grade. And then I have he'll be 2 years old in November. So he's still about 1.5. So a little one and one that's a little bit older. So it's great because my 7-year-old actually helps out with the little one because he loves to play with him. He'll go grab me a diaper. If I say, go grab me a diaper so I can change, he'll do that. So it's actually really convenient because it's helpful.
I see. I think your oldest is just like going, yes, I need an accomplice for 1 or 2 missions.
Yes.
There's a 6-year gap. I'll definitely be in charge.
There you go. It's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May I ask, with regards to yourself, how did you get into being a life coach and personal trainer?
That is an amazing story. So I'd like to say so myself now.
Your modesty has no bounds. Yeah.
So personal trainer I've actually been doing for about 8 years. So I've been in that field for a long time. It was always a passion of mine of helping others. However, the life coaching came when I was diagnosed with postpartum depression with my youngest. So I gave birth to my youngest, and 2 weeks after, I knew that something wasn't right. And we go to our doctor's appointments just to have a checkup to make sure that we're okay mentally and physically. And I wasn't going to lie to my doctor. I did a quiz, and a lot of women, there's a stigma about postpartum depression. So it's common to lie on your quiz and tell your doctor you're fine because you don't want that stigma to follow you. However, I said to myself, I'm just going to be completely honest and tell her something's not right. So she said to me the words that no woman wants to hear, which was, you have severe postpartum depression and I need to get you on some medication.
Mm.
So as soon as she said that, I said, absolutely not. I'm not taking medication. You can give me the prescription. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with medication. But I knew in myself that this pain, immediately in that doctor's office, I said, this pain needs to be turned into a purpose.
Mm.
So that's when, with a 2-week-old in my arms, sleeping 25 minutes a night, my child didn't sleep. So you wonder why I had postpartum depression. I was not sleeping. So I remember having him in my arms and going online and signing up for a course online to take a course for life coach, because I figured I need to help moms out there who suffer not just with postpartum, but everyday struggles that we go through. So I actually took courses while I had a newborn and a 5-year-old at the time and everything else going on. And I became a certified life coach. So I sought out a mission to just help moms, and I put together workshops and everything. So it's a very, it's not something where it's just an easy story of, oh, I went to college and I thought it would be a great career. It's no, I had no intentions of doing this in my life.
Mm.
And it was sitting in that doctor's office that I said, this pain needs to be turned into a purpose.
Okay. Yeah, no, because
Yeah.
this is the thing. Like, going through postpartum depression is one of those things which is, how can I put it? It feels like it's one of those taboo subjects.
Yes.
Which never really gets talked about. The only time I can remember it being sort of referenced was an episode of Scrubs when Carla was suffering from that. And that was 8 years ago, 10 years ago, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a man in a man, you know what I mean? That doesn't actually come up that much, but with all my female friends, they haven't really sort of talked about anything like that. And they sort of, I think they expected to glide through it in silence. And and I think I might be wrong in saying this, but there's sort of stigma to that sort of you got depression for having your child, for shame on you. And I don't
Absolutely.
It's weird, but so this is the thing, having these conversations and basically going, yeah, I'm going to do a course in life, being a life coach. That while dealing with all of that yourself and then trying to have that focus to get that on, that must have been kind of very hard at the time.
Yes. It was extremely difficult, but it wasn't an option to decide whether yes or no I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I felt like that moment I said, this isn't an option. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it work. And I need to help others. There's a reason why this is happening to me, because I need to break that stigma of we can't have the depression. It's wrong to feel that way, because it's strange, because when we have our children, women, we think there's no way I'm going to hate my baby, so I'm not going to have postpartum depression. So hearing postpartum depression, you think that means that you regret your baby, you hate having your child, and you're hating life. And that's not what it is. So hearing those words from the doctor, you have postpartum depression, I even sat there for a moment and thought, no, but I love my child more than anything in my life. There's no way I have that, because that is where we see it wrong. When we hear postpartum depression, like you said, you think of an episode of Scrubs, but you also, one of the most common is you see on the news where you'll see this woman hurt her children and it's because of her postpartum depression, or she drowned her children in a bathtub and she has postpartum depression. So thinking of yourself, there's no way, I don't want people to think I have postpartum depression, I would never hurt my child. That's not what it is. So making the decision to do the life coaching, I thought it isn't a decision. I had to do it to make sure that other women know that this is okay. And not just the postpartum part, but I needed to talk to other mothers and talk them through and guide them through and help them give the tools of motherhood. Because there's a lot out there that you'll see. There's women empowerment, there's motherhood empowerment. And a lot of these will say, you're strong, you can do it, give yourself credit, things like that. But there's not much that gives you the tools to feel that way. So it's really steps. You can't just tell a person, you can't empower them by telling them, you're wonderful, you're great, you can do this. You're not what society says.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not going to turn it around and say, okay, yeah, you're right, I'm not. You need to give them the tools to get them that way. So it was tough with a newborn. It was tough with a 5-year-old at that time, but there was no decision. I had to do it.
I'd imagine like the sort of slow building up is kind of like, sort of building up sort of stamina, fitness, like giving you sort of the like correct tools, the coping mechanisms, say, to get through these things. Like, do you find when you speak to like ladies in your community, mothers in your community, that when like before becoming a mother, they see it one way, but when they become a mother, or like basically anyone who becomes a parent, like the sort of reality strikes, as they say.
That's 100%. That's exactly, you put it in the perfect way. Reality strikes. And that is so true, because women, when we think about having a child, especially when it's your first child, you think, I can't wait to have this cute baby. I'm going to cuddle the baby. Things are going to be perfect. We get to dress the baby. And then you have the child. And it's a whole, oh man, things just got real. I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating. When can I shower? I don't care if my child's in the cutest clothes. That's when the reality hits. And that's right. That's what every mother, that's what you hear. You hear it in the community. You hear it on, if you're really like in these Facebook mother communities too, social media communities.
Yes.
We talk about that a lot. And that is why I've built a social media community as well. And I help them give workouts where you can do these workouts at home, and I'm building their mind as well. So it's hand in hand, mind and body, because moms, you don't think of, everyone thinks when I have my child, I'll get right back into sheet. I'll be able to do it. And then the child comes and I can't even make it to the gym for like 2 years. So it's all working out at home, building this community together, helping you build your mind and everything. So you're right. That was the perfect way to put it. Reality strikes. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, because like this is the thing, like, and I don't have kids myself, but like this is the thing. I'm seen, but I don't know. Like I've seen the sort of like scenarios play out, because when like little bundle of joy comes along and like like it's a case of, yes, some can be absolutely like, yeah, I will sleep my 8 hours. Yes. And then others which will be like, yeah, I have screamed for like 23 hours without rest. It's like, and there's no sort of in between.
No, you're so right.
Yeah.
There really isn't. There's two extremes. There's two extremes, but then there's, every child's different. So if you have a child that's super calm as a baby, we joke about it in the mom community saying like, oh, just get ready for toddler stage then, or when they're teenagers, it's going to be hell. And normally that's right. So, when they're difficult as a child, a lot of time, or as an infant, a lot of times it gets a little bit better, but you're right.
So like saying to me, yes, it might not come now, it might not come later, but one day it will come along.
Yeah, just wait. And I don't want to scare moms into it, because it is the biggest joy and it is so much fun. Like I said at the beginning, having 2 boys is a literal blast. They are into Nerf guns right now, so they're having little Nerf gun wars in the house, and it's really fun to watch and get involved too, because I kind of get to, with boys, you get to act out your childhood a little bit more too. So I get to like run around with them and play and do things like that. So it really is a blast, but you do have to prepare yourself. And I always tell people this, because when I host my workshops for moms, a lot of people who aren't moms message me and they say, I'm planning on being a mom one day. Would I be able to attend, or can I join your Facebook community? And I say, yes, because you don't want to wait until you're thirsty to build a well. So you want to make sure that you're hydrated before. Yep. So get the tools that you need and prepare yourself. And it's not like you can fully prepare yourself because there's always going to be little shockers there, but preparing yourself and giving yourself tools so that when it comes, you're not like, nobody told me this. Nobody prepared me for this. What's happening? So that's truly what it's about.
Yeah. So how are you running your workshops? Was it everyone meets up, or was it done over Zoom, or has that sort of changed over, how can I say, these lockdown times?
These lockdown times. Yeah, so I'm in the process of changing it. So we've had to put it on hold since the beginning of the year. So right now I'm in the process of turning them into virtual. So before, in the past, the way that I did those is I worked with a lot of local businesses, small businesses, big businesses, but I worked with them in my local area, and I would do a fun event. So we did an example. One of them was wine tasting, and we had all moms come together, and what mom wouldn't want to do that? So we had wine tasting, and we did a yoga in the vineyard, which was so fun. And then at the end, I had a host come and speak with us. It was a special guest and speak with us. She had gone through the death of her child who had cancer. So she spoke about strength. Yeah. So another workshop we did a makeup class at the studio, and we did a photo shoot for moms. And the speaker for that one spoke about wearing different hats. So we always do a fun event, and then we get into like the nitty gritty, let's talk and let's build each other up and speak about one core topic and build on that. So that's how we were doing those in the past, but now it's different. We can't really all come together in one place with how big it was. So we're going to be changing. I probably will be doing a few small ones here and there. Yeah. And then big ones that'll be virtual. So I'm in the process of changing all that right now. Unfortunately, we had a really big one planned, and it was supposed to be in April, and we got locked down end of March here. So that had to be canceled. So I'm still in the works, but stay tuned because there will be a lot.
No worries. You just locked down for March. Okay.
We locked down in March.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. That basically, I was about to say, that was a short lockdown because, yes, I think we're about to go into lockdown 2.0 over here.
I was in Europe, actually.
Oh, no.
I was in Europe. We left end of January.
Yeah.
Okay. And we were there January, February. And we had no idea anything about coronavirus because we hadn't been talking about it here because we only knew there was a virus that was in China. That's the only thing we talked about here on the news, and we knew nothing. So we went there having no idea. And when we came back, that's when it was saying, like, Europe is shut down, everything is shut down. There was no, and we were shocked, and we were like, oh no, we were just there. So we obviously had to quarantine here and everything. But yeah, it's crazy times right now. It really is.
What part of Europe did you go to?
I flew into London.
Okay.
But didn't stay there long. We just flew in for a few hours. But we were in Spain, France.
Oh God.
Italy, Malta. I know.
It's like going, look, put it this way.
Yep.
Like I was working, like, basically doing telephone sales for events, and like I was calling basically from the Far East all the way up to New Zealand, and like I was like going, okay, I was like, January time, was like going, yeah, something strange is going on in China. And it was like going, you're hearing the news reports. It was like, no, like I'm not getting hold of anyone in China. Then it was like, okay, I'm not getting hold of people in this country. I'm not getting hold of people. And I was sitting down in the sort of like not monthly, weekly meeting where you like had to speak to the editor and go, yes, how have you been doing? Do my little report card thing. I was like, I'm not getting anyone. Something's not right here. I was like, and my editor looked at me like, of course, yeah, right, whatever. Then 3 weeks later, when it was like, oh, well, it looks like Corona is taking effect. I was like, I'm looking at my editor like, no, really? I didn't say anything.
That's right. That's when you saw it coming.
Oh, no.
And
Like I was riding the crest of a wave on the telephone.
Oh,
Like it was just like, yeah, there was at least a 2-3 week period where I would call China, nothing, not a single soul in our office,
that's
not speaking to anyone, and like yeah, there's countries just going down like dominoes. And like yeah, when you say you were in Europe and you like mentioned Spain, France, like you know what I mean.
so I followed coronavirus
So,
pretty much.
like you were literally going into the countries which were like hotbeds. You went to Italy as well? No.
Had no idea.
Oh yeah. Like
We had
basically,
no idea.
had like one of my colleagues. He was in like one was in Italy. He was like his wife went to work in the European Central Bank. That job went goodbye. Sorry to say.
Mm,
And another colleague who was like in what's the name? She was in Spain, but she was on an island, and they were only allowed out an hour a week to like just do their shopping and come back.
wow.
And so like when they go, like when I say lockdown in comparison to what was going on in the mainland in Europe was quite considerably different. And I think,
Wow.
yeah, we got lucky in the UK, and I think you guys in America, like well, depending which state, you basically still could do your essential shopping like any day.
Yes.
But yeah,
We could.
you weren't locked completely down. So
That is absolutely crazy. But you know what is funny, because the coronavirus here now,
yeah,
we're still in that. It's not as locked down as you are. We go into phases, and we are still under, quarantine at times, and some things are still locked down and not open. Like a lot of the schools, and I said how before I'm doing homeschooling with my oldest,
yeah.
and moms are, I'll be blunt, we're going crazy.
Oh,
We are going absolutely nuts. We are inside with our kids, working from home, homeschooling, trying to keep up with everyday life. And that's why right now my workbook coming out has been, I've had so many moms reach out and say, this is the biggest blessing, because it gives you tools for self-care, growth, and reflect. And that way it's tools of, don't forget about yourself, mom, take care of yourself.
yes.
Even though during this pandemic it's happening and you're so focused on everybody else and you're going crazy yourself, make sure you're taking your 15 minutes a day and you're taking care of yourself. So it literally gives you all the tools on how to do that each day, which is what we need right now. All moms need right now. We really do.
Yeah, no, like this is one of the things I'd say it's definitely this pandemic has sort of really emphasized. Like if if you're a single parent, the game is like, and when I say the game, I'm not taking it lightly.
No.
It's just so much harder when I've seen family, like where it's like a full family unit, like two parents, like gaggle of kids, like yes, at least you can sort of tag out if you need a break. But like I've got to say, single parents, and depending on how old the kid is as well, which is another factor, because if they're at that age where I would say like toddler, well, from baby to sort of like 3-4, it's like all the emphasis is like, yes, I've got you here now, every day, every moment, I'm loving it, let's play. It's like, so yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard. And it's, when you speak about single moms, I've been a mom that has worn so many hats. And that's why I can host a lot of workshops and sympathize with so many different moms out there, because I have been a single mom. I was a single mom with my oldest. And I was a single mom. And, I was married when I was younger, and it didn't work out. My ex-husband's a great man. I'm a great person. We just didn't work out together.
Yeah.
So, we had my oldest, and then I remarried and we had another child. And so I can sympathize with single moms. I can also sympathize with mothers who have had loss. I've had 5 miscarriages.
Oh, no.
So I have 2 children, but I've had 5 miscarriages. So a lot of moms will come to me and say, I'm not a mom, but I've lost a child. And I'm like, I can sympathize, and you are a mom. Your child's just not here. So along with that, you know, my youngest has some special needs. So there's a lot of different hats that I can wear and that I can sympathize with and I can help moms. And that's also another reason why I sat here saying, I need to help all moms that I can, not just the moms who it looks like it's the perfect family with husband, kids, all this. I mean, it might look like that way from people looking from the outside, but if they know me, if they know my story, there are a lot of women here in the community who know my story and who know that it's not perfect. It never has been. We're actually right now in the process of deciding between whether I go for reproductive specialist to see if we can have another one, because I've had 2 miscarriages this year.
Yeah.
Or if, just this year alone. So, or if we're going down the route of adoption. So we're kind of at the crossroads and we're deciding between those two. So if we do decide to adopt, that's just another hat that I'm wearing for as a mom. So
Yeah. May I ask, like, this is the thing. Look, okay, you've mentioned, like, you've told me just now, you've been a single mom, like, yeah, you've, like, second child, yeah, 5 miscarriages, like, wearing all these hats, doing the personal training, the life coaching as well. Where do you, like, well, 1, where do you find the time? And 2, where do you get the strength from it, like, for it? Because, hey.
It's not easy.
Ah.
It's not. And finding the time, I'm very, very blessed since coronavirus. A good thing that has come out of it is my husband's been working from home.
Yeah.
So I am able to focus a lot more on my work because he's home and he's able to help with the kids a bit. So before that, it was just juggling. It was really juggling. It was a lot of sleepless nights. It was a lot of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
But when I would prepare for these big events, when I was writing my manuscript for the book, you know, I would have an event that would come, and when it would go, it was a sense of, I just helped so many moms out there, and that's what it's about. And it's giving tools of other moms to help moms that they reach. So it's not just me helping, it's giving tools that if you come across a mom, help this mom, so that we build each other and we lean on each other. And being able to do that, it was so worth it that I honestly can sit here and say, I don't know how I balanced all of it in the past. I have no idea how I did it, but it's the satisfaction of being able to help others. And my strength, you know, for me and my family, we are very strong in our faith. We have a very faith-based family. So mine would be from God. That's where we look to. I know a lot of moms I come to, they have their own belief. They have their own strength that they lean on. But that's where ours comes from. And I really, literally, every night before I go to bed, I do my own, so this is my book, but I do my own prompting in my workbook. So I do my own work in my own book. So every night before I go to bed, I use my book and I do that. And then I pray. I have in here to meditate, pray, whatever it is that you believe in, to do that. And the next morning, you truly feel refreshed. You do. So as the day goes on, like, I'm gonna lose it a little bit. I am. Don't get me wrong. Like, I am not gonna have it all together. But at the end of the day, it really is like winding down, sitting down. I have my tea, and I do my book and I pray, and that's where my strength personally comes from.
Yeah, because like this is the thing. Like I have never done a book. I don't know if I'll ever write a book, but if there's a book in me. Like, I go, okay. I've spoken to people, like one lady, Georgiana, she was like, yes, I did my first book in 2 weeks. I had time off and I did it in 2 weeks. I was like, going, how many pages was that book? She was like, yeah, 274. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, right. And like, I've spoken to people who've like taken them years to do it. Like, that in itself is a tough ordeal to keep track of, to do that. But when it comes to events, this is the thing. Events, look, anyone who goes, oh yeah, I can throw an event, that's not a problem. Right. There are so many spinning plates in events, and like just like getting the venue, just getting like the people to hope, like do the different aspects of it. That is, how can I say, mental.
Yes, like, it is. Yes, you said it the right way.
Yeah. So like, you must have some, like, do you have like behind that blind, is there just a wall planner of just like how your time is structured? Like bam, bam, bam? Or how?
What's funny is I actually spoke recently on a podcast,
Yeah.
and we spoke about checklists, and I spoke about doing away with the checklist, because for moms especially, we have this checklist, and a lot of planners that come out for moms, and this is why I wanted to change that whole idea of a mom planner.
Mm.
It'll say, make sure, like, what are you making for dinner? Did you do your shopping? Do you have everything done? And it gives nothing but anxiety. And
Mm.
that's when women will stop doing these planners and stop doing the checklist, because it's anxiety. And then it turns into chaos because they don't feel like they have everything together. So a lot of times, if you do write a checklist and you don't complete it all, how are you feeling? You feel like crap. You feel like you didn't succeed. You didn't get anything done. And it's not a good feeling. So why are we going to do that with ourselves? So I have been doing away with my checklist completely. I do away with the checklist every day. I don't write checklists at all for my events, for anything. I don't write it because it's about self-forgiveness. So why am I going to put this on myself if I'm going to be hard on myself later? I need to be able to forgive myself and say, it's okay that you didn't get that done today. It can get done tomorrow. It can get done another day. Now, if I have a deadline for something, I do put the deadline in my calendar and say, this is when it's supposed to be due. And I'll make sure I get it done, but I'm not going to set those goals of a daily checklist with that. So for events just alone, so it's funny because you know that I've done personal training and that I'm a life coach.
Yeah.
But in the past, I also have a degree in interior and architectural design. I have my cosmetology license for hair, skin, and nails. I have, when I tell you, I have a nutritionist background. I have just, my list is so, so long. So going back with that, my interior design and architectural background, we actually did a lot of events. So for me, it came a little bit natural where I can do this. I know what has to go in. I know what has to be done. But honestly, it's just a lot of trial and error and doing it and not being afraid and stepping forth into your purpose. And I knew my purpose was this. I knew my purpose was events. I knew it was that. And I didn't want a checklist to hold me back and say, well, this isn't done. This isn't done.
Yeah.
No, I stepped forward into it. And it was trial by error. Okay, next time I'm going to know that I want to do this a little bit differently. I need to do this a little bit differently. And nobody knew in that season or in that time in those workshops, nobody knew if something was going correctly or if something was going wrong. Because if I had written a checklist, I might have shown anxiety and thought, this isn't going exactly and I don't have this right. So again, it's that self-forgiveness. It's hard to have when you have that checklist and things aren't going right and it's not going perfectly. So it was more trial by error with things, with those events. And people think, oh, she has it all together. She did that perfectly. But really, I'm taking note of just next time I'm going to do this a little bit differently. Yeah. I'm not mad about it this time. It went smoothly. Everybody loves it. Next time I want to do this a little bit differently. So bringing that into my everyday life and mom's everyday life, I talk about that a lot. It's doing away with the checklist. Don't sit back and just sit on the couch, but getting the things done that you know that need to get done and allowing yourself, giving yourself grace to relax sometimes, self-care, take some time for your goal. You're always focusing on everybody else, moms. So let's take some time to focus on what your goal is and let's get away with the checklist.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like this is the thing. Yep. The thing what springs to mind, it's the classic analogy of a duck or a swan. Basically, you look at them on the surface gliding along gracefully, but underneath the surface, it's kicking frantically just to keep things like, yeah.
It's true. It's chaos underneath, but what we see up front isn't. So, you don't want to live that chaos that's underneath that you don't see.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's not seeing it, that's great and all, but you're feeling it. So it's about, allowing things to happen and going about our day. And my son, my youngest doesn't get it yet, but my oldest loves that we don't have to do a checklist because we wake up in the morning and it's not what are we doing at 8 o'clock? What are we doing at this time? What do I have to do? It's just, you know what you have to do. Go eat your breakfast, go brush your teeth, go get dressed. You know what your chores are. And then if you have extra time, if you do it quickly, you have extra time before school, awesome. Go do your things. So we don't do checklists.
Yeah. Like, this is the thing. Like, one of the things what comes to mind, like your school, you're working with, how can I say it, more of a rubber band sort of system. You know where the like main deadlines are, but you're allowing that band to be stretched, go back. So it's always in a sort of a state of flux where it can move back, forward, go either which way. Now, with regards to kids and stuff like this, like your oldest, like it must be kind of unusual, really unusual, because like this is the whole thing. The world was one way and now it's another. And like him being homeschooled and everything like that, is he missing his friends, or is he just like, yeah, you know what, I can speak to them over like PlayStation and whatnot, I'm cool. How's he doing?
You know what? It's funny because a lot of moms will talk to me about how their children are doing. And I hear a lot of different things. I hear my child is missing this, my child is so upset. But in my circumstance, my oldest is loving it. He is absolutely having a ball. The only thing he says is, he says, Mommy, I'm so mad at coronavirus. He'll tell me sometimes. I say, why are you mad at a virus? And he says, because I can't go to places like, he wants to go to, like, we have Chuck E. Cheese out here, or it's like a video game arcade, and he can't go to those places because they're not open. But we do substitute things. We kind of create that here, and we'll do, okay, you want to go to a laser tag place that's not open? Let's have an obstacle course Nerf gun war at the house. And we'll do things like that. So we're substituting it, and he's actually loving it. So I actually suggest that to a lot of moms, of if they're missing things, if they're having a hard time, just stop with your busyness. Things are busy. Stop with that. It's going to help your mental health, your child's mental health, and do the fun things that they're missing. Do it. Get on the ground, play with them. He wanted to go to he missed a carnival this year because there were no more of these carnivals that they had. So I face painted him myself. And we just did like a fun event here, and we just did it. We made it fun. So he actually is not missing school. He is loving doing it all virtual. He is loving it because he says, Mommy, when I was in school, I can't have snacks whenever I want, but I can have them whenever I want here. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. You can. And since we have been under like quarantine here, we have stuck with our neighborhood, the same group of people. And so we've all been around each other the whole time, and there's all kids. So he's been hanging out with those kids since the beginning. We're all staying just around each other and not breaking that and going around other people. So he's still able to play with that close-knit group, very small. But besides that, I mean, he's having so much fun. He's like, I don't have to get up early and go to school. I'm not having to do all this stuff. I mean, we do have structure here. Don't get me wrong. I don't want people to think that it's just a free for all, have fun chaos.
It's a Zoom. No.
It's not like that. It is. He knows that he has his list of chores, because we do need to have that. It's not a checklist, but it's, hey, I just want this done by whenever you get it done, because when you do, you know, your reward is playtime. So he's like, he wants to get it done right away in the beginning of the day, because he's like, oh, I get to play the rest of the day. So he sees you do this, you get a reward. And he's loving being home. He really is. He's the unusual one. All the kids are hating it, but he loves it.
It's like yes.
I don't know if he'll want to go back to school.
It's like how can I stay home? Let me. Mom, I'm going to China. Well, okay. Yeah. It's like I'm loving it. I would say this, like, one of the things now, like, speaking to you, like, you are a person that loves building communities. Like, like I would say, with the world being one way and the world being now, I think there's like you most probably were involved in having a little community around you beforehand, but now I think you've made that tighter, closer, and like, really there for each other, I imagine.
Yes, we need that more than ever now. We do, and yeah. No,
this is the thing. Yes, speaking of community, and this is where most really like, you guys are got an interesting time coming up on, is it the 4th of November?
It's interesting to say the least.
Yeah, look, I have avoided watching, like, even here in the UK, like, I've avoided watching the debate because
Don't.
I let's just say I heard what that debate was like, and like, this is the thing, from sort of secondhand information. Yeah, all I've got to simply say is choice 1 and choice 2 is not good.
No, it's funny because I put up, and it was a joke. It's a joke, but I put up something in my Instagram the other day, and I just said, "Fine, we'll take Kanye." Because he wanted to run. Kanye West was going to run for president. And we laughed about it, saying like, "Oh, that is absolutely ridiculous." But at this point, we're just like, "Yep, that's fine. We'll take him." It was a joke, but it was just so. It's it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, like, this is the thing. I've spoken to a couple of people, and like, yeah, lady I spoke to the other day, Fitz, who like does fitness as well, and like, it was like talking to her, and this is before the like actual debate, and I was like going, yeah, like, there are things I look at and go, yeah, Trump has done some good things here and there, and you know what I mean, and if it was a different person, he may have got more credit for it. And then I kind of like was like, yeah, the Democratic Party have not put anyone forward who would be suitable as a like alternative. It's just like, I went, yeah, the Democrats are, it's like they're looking to lose. And like, look, don't get me wrong, I reckon Biden, like 20 years ago, would have been like an outstanding choice. Biden now, no. Same thing with Bernie. It was like, Bernie, no. It's like going, yeah. Oh, that's like, yeah. Andrew Yang, who was interesting. I did say that right. Yang, he was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Tulsi Gabbard was interesting for like both the Democrats, but it was just, they have no interest in, like,
It's
I don't know.
no, it's hard because especially watching the debate, you look at it and you, I mean, I think back on the debate and it was really, really funny. And everybody here thought it was hilarious. And when Biden just said to Trump, "Will you just shut up?"
Yeah.
And it was just, it's one of those things that all of us wanted to kind of be there and say it to both of them. You guys just be quiet, because it was an embarrassment. And it's an embarrassment to have other countries looking in, at us. And it's childish. What we're looking at right now is, come on, America, like, we couldn't come up with two better, like, this is all we have, like, really? And it's hard, like, really, like, we couldn't come up with something better. It's tough. And right now, especially with how our country is, with a lot, and I'm sure you've been up to date on so many trials we've been going through, and so many just tough. It's so difficult that the world needs, and we need love more than anything, but it's hard to love on each other when there's so much hate in our country right now, truly.
Yeah, like, this is the thing, like, with regards to what's, I would say, going on globally, and I would say, like, it's been a weird one because it sort of started out where it seemed to be bringing people together. It was like, going, oh, yeah, you know what? Like, I'm sitting around the campfire about to sing Kumbaya, and like, you know what I mean? Oh, Lord, Kumbaya.
Mm-hmm.
And as the years gone on, it seems to people have starting to drift away, and it's like less sort of unity and like a lack of community. And like, this is the thing with like speaking to someone like yourself, who is like for me, observing you having this conversation, you're a community builder. Like, you want to bring people together. It must be kind of very sort of hard seeing what's going on right now, which goes against everything you most probably believe in.
Absolutely. It's heartbreaking. That's the best way I can put it, is it's absolutely heartbreaking. And I speak about this a lot in my community that I have built. And you'll hear me say over and over again, what is the one reason we were all put here on earth? And it's to love one another. That's the reason. Love everybody, regardless of any situation, circumstance, anything that could come in the way. Love. And to sit back and see this discourse and this chaos is literally heartbreaking. And people who aren't trying to be in the middle of it, there's a lot of moms who I speak to that are saying, I'm really trying not to be in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But when I dive a little bit deeper and I'm like, but how are you feeling? And they're like, I am not okay because I'm not okay. And this is happening because no matter if they try and stay out of it, no matter how much we try and stay out of it, it's around us. So it feeds on all of us. So that's why more than ever, I'm trying to make this community even bigger so we can see that in the middle of all this, there really is love. And that's what we need. We need to remember that we're here to love each other and we're here to lean on each other because it's contagious. So the love, the leaning on, that's contagious. Somebody else wants to do it for somebody. You want to lean on another person. And it's heartbreaking what I'm seeing going on in the world.
Like, speaking of making things bigger, like as I was saying, speaking of making things bigger, making your community bigger and more accessible, okay, yes, you've got the book, you're doing the workshops. What else are you doing? Is there anything else you're doing? Are you doing a YouTube channel, a podcast, or is like that?
So I'm actually in the middle of putting a podcast together. I'm in the beginning stages. So it hasn't been out. I haven't done the interviews. I'm kind of in the middle, got my microphone, got all that kind of stuff. So mapping out what it's going to look like because I want to know what topics I'm going to speak on. And I've reached out to a few people for collaboration on things like that. So that's going to be in the works. I am planning, hopefully, as long as coronavirus doesn't put anything, it's not just going to be a workshop, but a seminar. So I want to start doing weekend events where people will come and will travel, stay there for a weekend, do big seminars with moms, other women who want to be moms, women who have lost children, things like that. So right now, I'm not doing a YouTube channel. That is something I am considering, but I'm not in the works of anything like that, but definitely a podcast. This book is going to be actually not just this book. This is my first. It's going to be a series. So I'm in the process of writing number 2. Which will be fun, and I'll let everybody know when that does come out. So I'm in the process. That's going to be series, podcast, seminars, and more workshops.
Yeah, like this is the thing. I think doing a podcast for yourself, that'll be like great for you and your community. Something where if you're building it around sort of like key topics, that's great. And also, like, if you can sort of like, if there was like another like person and you had each week, like, do a podcast where you cover a topic, and each week you just do, say, a question and answer session, and you just basically have the two of you just like having a quick chat amongst yourself, but having regular questions you see come in from your community, and like trying to answer those the best they can. And like,
I love that.
So it's one of those things, to help, I would say, to help the community feel they're not in it alone. And like, that's one of the hardest things, I think, these days, where most people just feel they are in it alone. They are dealing with these situations, circumstances by themselves, but it's not true. Everyone has their trials, their tribulations, their labors, say. And people like yourself being able to talk about that, highlight that, and make that person, like whoever it might be, feel less alone would be a great help, I'd say. A great help.
Yes. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. And it's build something like that where, nobody does feel alone. And it's funny because when I sign my books, I always sign it saying, "You are not alone. I love you." And then I sign my name. So just to remind people that you're not alone, as much as we might think, like we sit back and we think, there's nobody who's going through this. There's no way. If we have a community, we can be able to reach out to somebody and say, "This is the way I'm feeling. I don't know if this is normal or not, but do you know if you've been feeling that way or if somebody else has?" And breaking that whole stigma of postpartum depression, mental illness, mental health awareness, things like that we can truly, not, I don't want to say cure,
Mm.
but help by actually having a community and leaning and loving, because that's what it's about. Because we do feel alone in so many situations. We really do tend to think it's human nature to think that there's nobody else in the world who's going through something like this, but it's not true. It's not.
Mm. No, indeed. Like, I definitely. When you get your podcast up and running, you've got to tell me what it's going to be called, where it's going to be, and yeah,
I will. I'm
absolutely.
so excited because it's a work in progress, but I want to make sure I'm focusing on so much. And right now I'm doing a book tour. So my book tour is virtual. All of it's virtual. That's how things are looking right now. So it's a lot of media, podcasts, things like that. So signing books and sending them out instead of being in bookstores. So it's not just, I can't really go many places right now. It's so difficult. It is.
Yes. No, this is the thing. Couple of people I've had on the podcast, and a chap named Colin, like who's over in China, and he's on a mission to be, I think, what was it? He wants to be on over 100 podcasts before the end
Wow.
of the year, and that was when we spoke first. That was about, I think, June. So yeah, he's doing his book tour that way as well, really going for it. Another lady, Jane, great lass, over in Nigeria, and she had a book just come out, and it was just like the world locked down, and she's like,
Yeah.
she was like, no. So she's been on a number of podcasts. I don't know how many she's been on so far, but yeah, she's getting the word out there. Do you sort of have an idea of how many podcasts you want to get on before the end of this year, or is it just take it how it comes?
I'm taking it how it comes, but right now I'm booked all the way through December, which is amazing. So I have a podcast almost every day except for weekends. So up until December. So that's pretty fun. I'm excited about that. And, I have 2 today.
Mm.
And I have Saturday off. That's, I'm not doing anything. So, but it's easy because I'm already home. So I can do these podcasts from home. And it is so tough because you just release a book and then the world stops.
Yeah.
So you think like you're going to go on this book tour, you're going to go these places, you're going to do all this, and you can't. However, it really is for anybody who's an author, anybody who thinks they want to write a book or do something like this and it's not a good time. It truly is, because think about it. We're in a lockdown. What are you going to do? You're going to pull out your books. You're going to read it. You're going to sit down. The world has slowed down. So you're able to sit down and do these things that you haven't been able to. I remember when we first went into lockdown, I had 2 books that I was like, I have been waiting for 2 years to get to these books to try and read. And I sat down and I read them in 2 days. So the world has slowed down.
Yeah, no, I think my lady can take a leaf out of your book right there, because yes, she has a small stockpile of books, just making sure she doesn't burst through hey, what you say? There's small stockpile of books, which is her Amazon list with her basically a wish list forever keeps growing, and 80% of it is books. So yes, all I've got to simply say is one day I'll be living in a warehouse, which will just be just books behind me, just you'll just see rows and rows of books, and none of them would be mine.
Is that a bad thing?
Oh no! This is the thing. I'm just going, come on, gal, just read some more books. She'll go through about 2 or 3, but it was come on.
We've got a lot more.
Yeah, there's a lot more, and it keeps on growing. Oh my Lord.
Oh.
If I all of a sudden cut out, she's coming, and
That's it.
send people to my location.
I got you.
Oh damn. So with this, what do you how do you see the next sort of 12 to 18 months for yourself, your organization? What do you think? What plans do you have of world domination? Oh, sorry.
Of world domination.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Oh, that was a little bit too maniacal.
Yes. No. So actually, what I want to really try and put together, and I'm in the beginning stages of just mapping this out and doing the blueprint, is I don't want to lead every single workshop. I don't want to lead every seminar. I don't want to do that. I want to help a community, but I don't want to be the leader. So I want to help build leaders. So my goal would be, say I have connected with a person in London, and say they want to host one of these workshops where they live. Great, let me give you the tools. I'm going to map it out for you. You host it. Now you give the tools to somebody else. They can host it somewhere else. So my goal within this next year to 18 months is to build this community and branch out so that I'm not leading it. So that we are all literally leaning on each other. And I don't want people to look at me like, okay, when is she doing another workshop? I need another workshop. When is she doing another one? I'm waiting. If you're waiting for one, maybe it's a sign that you're supposed to host one and that you need to help that community that's underneath you. And I truly believe that those who need these workshops, these people who need to be there and feel like I need this for myself, just like when I went through postpartum depression, how I sat there and said, I need a lot of help right now, but I'm going to turn this pain into a purpose. So those people who are sitting there saying, I need her workshops. Yes, I want you to come. That's amazing. Do a virtual one. Grab my book, but take from it that you're a leader yourself and that you're struggling through things for a reason. So these things that you're coming to my workshops for because you're struggling with, guess what? Another mom underneath you somewhere is struggling with that as well. So let's build her up now. Now it's your turn. Now it's your job to do that. So that's what my goal is in this next year to 18 months is branch out. Let's build this. Let's do it all. I want to do it all over the world. That's my goal.
World domination. Yes, I was right.
So, yeah, so I'm planning on world domination. All right, you caught me.
All right. Now I'm seeing the connection with, your kid like, hey, Mom, I'm just going to China for a moment.
Yes, it's all part of our plan. I've already instructed him.
The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Oh, Jesus. Like, with my this is where I have to reveal, like, yes, I have supreme cosmic powers over the universe. Yes. So if I could grant you one wish, what would that one wish be? Yes.
I don't think I've ever been asked this. Wow. Okay. One wish in this moment, I think I would say I honestly, what I really want is everybody. My wish is for everybody to grab somebody else, lean on them, let them lean on you. That's what my goal is. That's what my dream is right now. That's my wish. I guess it could be a little bit selfish because I want to see that happen, but I want everybody else to see that and feel like, wow, this is such an amazing feeling. That is my dream. So if you can make that happen, I would truly appreciate that.
Yep.
And let's see what you can do for your magic. Let's see.
Excellent. I shall start working on that right.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I have lots of wishes I've got to get through. Yes. Like, I'm sure there'll be a 7-year-old like, hey, hey,
hello.
I was like, hi. Brilliant. One last thing, like,
yes,
I've got to, like, this is the thing I have to ask. Is there any particular TV show or film you're watching at this moment in time? Just to know.
Yeah, you want to know what it is? The Grinch. 24 hours a day, over and over again. And it's not me, but it's on our TV. If you came into my house right now, I can put money on it that upstairs The Grinch is on. That's what I'm watching. I don't get to watch anything. I did watch the news this morning because our president has coronavirus.
Oh, yes, I'm aware of that. I say nothing.
Yes, me neither. I say nothing, but I did watch the news this morning. But when I put the news on, the toddler throws a fit. So what am I watching? Nothing. And I wish I could tell you differently, except for The Grinch, because it's on my TV 24/7. In the summer, it's on TV. So
now, put it this way, like, I will bring in 2 shows for you to watch One,
Please do. I need it.
okay, the one, like, do you remember Carmen San Diego?
Yes.
Netflix have got their own version of Carmen San Diego. So I would say, yeah, put that on. It might be one of those things where, like, yeah, you might be able to get a little bit of nostalgia on. It's not the same type of animation, so it's not like where
Oh, that'd be so
Carmen San
fun.
Diego. But it's like I've enjoyed it because, like, when I was working over in America for like summer camps, I would have my sort of camp, like the sort of breaks between encampments. So like
Awesome.
on a Saturday morning, like just like around like a friend's house, just like, what do I do? It's like put it on. And I was like sitting there, cereal, watching this. I was like, oh, and I got into it. Like I can't help it.
So the 10-year-old self came out and
Well,
you started.
And like when I saw it on Netflix, I was like, I remember that. That takes me back to my late teens and early 20s.
Oh, and maybe that will help with my world domination.
Well,
okay, I got this.
yeah, no worries. And like this is the thing. Are you a vegetarian or do you
I
like
am not a vegetarian.
Okay, yeah, then what you need to do, like when your kids are asleep, you and your husband need to sit down. And if you haven't watched it already, you need to sit down and watch Chef's Table on
I
Netflix.
haven't seen it.
Oh, oh, I testify right now.
Is it a series or a movie?
Like it is a series, and
Okay.
like they do a number of different, like they've done. I think this might be season 3, but like Chef's Table, the barbecue edition. I got to say.
That's our thing. Okay, so so when the baby goes to sleep tonight, that's what he loves that kind of stuff too. So that's what we're gonna watch tonight.
All I got to simply say to you is, yes, you'll thank me later.
And I will. I'll be writing you a thank you note.
Awesome. But yes, Chef's Table, Carmen San Diego. I think it'll help you escape from the clutches of the Grinch.
Oh, thank you.
Would you be able to tell the lovely people out there how they'll be able to get hold of you?
Yeah. So, okay, you can reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is strong_mama_Keera. My name, Keera. You can also find me on Facebook with just my name, Keera Albergaria. I know that's a tough one. Or you can email me at a mom's reflection, which is my website, a mom's reflection at Gmail. Okay, so you can email me there as well. But check me out on Instagram because I'm on there more than anything. I'm on there a lot. And I connect with a lot of followers there. So if you want to connect with me there, if you would like, I can send signed copies of my book as well. I do that. Or you can find it on Amazon online or Barnes & Noble online. A few other places, but those are the 2 biggest places that it's on right now. But Amazon, you can go on. But yeah, connect with me on Instagram because I love connecting with people. If you can't tell, I love community. I love people. I love talking. You can even just ask me how my day is or tell me you need help with something and like I'll probably chat with you for an hour.
Superb. I've got to say this. Sorry, it has to end. But Keera, thank you for coming on to
Thank
this show today.
you.
The pleasure is all mine. Yes, I'm going to have to keep an eye on your family and like especially the oldest one. World domination is on his mind.
I mean, it's bound to happen. So it's
on that happy note, I'd like to say thank you, my friends. Thank you, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, stay well, be awesome, be excellent, be fantastic. Be all the positive bees you can be in this world and more. Anyway, have a good one. Peace. Yeah, waving. And we are out.